Here are some patterns I've noticed after 10 plus years of being a nonprofit iconoclast. Hi, I am Mazarine, and for many years I ran a consulting business called Wild Woman Fundraising. And I wrote a book of the same name, had a good time with it, but then I decided to leave the sector, and I am in the middle of writing a new book called Healing from the Nonprofit Sector. So if you're interested in that, listen up. So I worked in the sector for many years in fundraising, and I started consulting in 2009. And since that time, I've tried to pinpoint what makes organizations and programs fail. This road has led me to interview university researchers, nonprofit board members, executive directors, founders, consultants, government workers, and nonprofit workers. Suffice to say, it's given me a political education when I really didn't intend to. So here are some of the patterns that have emerged as I looked at the story of how we got here. In government, I heard the phrase, nonprofits bring the median income of a region down. I heard leaders say, you just can't find good help these days when the third fundraising person quits in 3 months. And the general sort of attitude was, let the government step away from providing services. Nonprofits will step in and get paid poverty wages and get overseen by amateurs. And that last is convenient for colonialism, white supremacy, capitalism, and the ruling class. Why? Because the government mostly has unions and nonprofits mostly don't. The government has elected oversight and nonprofits mostly don't. Governments in other countries does a lot of what we expect nonprofits to do here. If you wanted to take power away from unions and have less oversight, you'd cut government and social service budgets down to the bone and give their formal duties to nonprofits, which, thanks to Reagan, already happened over 40 years ago. Now this is accelerating in the current administration in the US. I used to see nonprofits as a bastion of compassion. I used to love the sector with my whole heart. I felt like we were all engaged in picking up the pieces of a broken system to make a better one. I woke up from that lie, from that dream that wasn't true. Here's the truth I offer you now. You are letting your revolutionary energy get caught up in a net that does not threaten the ruling class and exhausting yourself to solve problems that the government should be solving. Instead of your tax dollars going to fund war and genocide and let Israel have universal health care and senators have salaries and health care even after they retire. Not you, though. How do I put this? My loyalty was misplaced, and so is yours. Your nonprofit and the ones I worked at will drag you through the street. They will chew you up and spit you out. They don't deserve your loyalty. Wake up. All of our pleading for better treatment, higher wages, better health care, structure to rise in the organization falls on deaf ears. Why would they give you that when they can just go find another desperate person tomorrow to work for starvation wages? Why would they even care about the quality of this person's work when they have no consequences if the work gets done badly or if half the staff quits? Nonprofits are run by amateurs, so leaders don't have accountability. Unless their job depends on staff longevity and well-being, your bargaining power is limited. Speaking of which, I've interviewed folks who were in a nonprofit union, and they said it doesn't necessarily protect you. You can still try, though. It took me years to stop ascribing good intentions to nonprofit boards and leaders when none existed. I wanted to believe the sector devoted so much of my life towards was worthy of my devotion. The years I spent honing my fundraising and consulting skills in, the years living on very little, hoping that someday with enough wins I'd be able to land a job that allowed me to save. And what do I see now? More excuses, more low wages in the face of massive inflation, more hand-wringing about we just can't pay more, and board members who won't challenge the status quo. I get it. People like routine, and a lot of folks who run nonprofits want to maintain order rather than think of how to support the lowliest nonprofit worker. I've seen people lose their health from being overworked by nonprofits. I've seen people get killed in tragic accidents and get replaced at their nonprofit jobs within a month. Don't kid yourself about what this sector really is and how it really will treat you when it can no longer squeeze more labor out of you. In the last year and change, I've learned more about understanding what a scapegoat is. We have scapegoats in our family systems, and we also have scapegoats in society. And one thing that being a scapegoat teaches you is that you'll talk about broken systems whether or not people are listening. It doesn't necessarily make you a restful person to work with, but certainly passionate, as I was recently politely called. You get to see the contradictions between what people say and what they do, and you draw attention to it. Your anger propels you forward to request that people look at how they could work even better if they face those contradictions. I'd love to hear what patterns you've noticed. And if you're interested in hearing more in this vein, definitely get my book, Healing from the Nonprofit Sector, out soon where books are sold.